everyone, Metal Breakdown here. So welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here because yesterday was the release of the brand new album by Trivium. It's called What the Dead Men Say. I talked a bit about it on this channel because I did a reaction for the first three singles. So that was Catastrophist, What the Dead Men Say, and Amongst the Shadows and the Stones. Three phenomenal singles. So I still have not made like a proper album review. I could still do one if you guys want that and really talk about the album in deep, like 10 minutes album review or something like that. So just tell me in the comment section if you want me to do that. But today's video that I'm doing is a ranking of all the Trivium albums. I already did it in the past, but now it will include What the Dead Men Say, and it's probable that my taste for the other album changed over the years, so that's why I think it's really like relevant to do it today. And yeah, make sure to share with me in the comment section what is your ranking, what is your favorite Trivium album. I really want to know. We could have some cool discussion about that. So yeah, let's fucking go, guys, for my ranking of all the Trivium albums from worst to best. Okay guys, so in the last position I went with the Crusade, the third album by the band, and an album that really changed everything, because after the success that was Ascendency, they were like already one of the biggest band on the planet. I think especially in Europe they did fucking great with that album, and they got destroyed in Europe with the Crusade. Because it's a complete change of sound for them, you know. Ascendency was like more like straight up metalcore album, and the Crusade switched everything to a more thrash metal album with minimal screaming vocals, almost only clean. So I can understand why the fans were not happy with it. And some songs are really not that good. A lot of fillers on that album, in my opinion. Still some great songs though, but overall, definitely the poorest album in terms of quality for Trivium. So yeah, it's all right. I listen to it from time to time, but definitely taking the bottom spot for me. After that, in the 8th position, I went with Silence in the Snow, which is another album, the only other album by Trivium that features only clean vocals. In my opinion, they tried to do a bit like what Avenged Sevenfold did with their album Hell to the King, going for a more like classic rock or even classic metal approach. Some great songs like Dead and Gone, there goes That's Something New. I really love The Darkness of My Mind, which is a bonus track, which is a shame. It's really soft, but it's really good. And the two first singles were really good as well. So Silence in the Snow and Blind Leading the Blind. But I understand why they did that album. At that point in time, Matt Heafy had like problems with his voice because a lot of damage happened during the Vengeance Falls album cycle, so that's why he kind of took a break from screaming, and I think that Corey, the lead guitarist, was doing all the screaming vocals after that on tour. So this album needed to happen. Not a bad album, just not as good as what Trivium can do when they had more heaviness to their stuff, you know. So yeah, after that, guys, in the 7th position, I went with the very first album by the band, Ember, to Inferno. Really not a bad album. It's really good indeed, but it was like really the predecessor of Ascendency, and it shows that the band was just getting started. I think when they did that album, Matt Heafy was like around 15 years old or so it's kind of normal that it's not that great, but still some solid song on that one. I know that people might disagree with that, but my favorite one would probably be Requiem. I really love that track. The chorus is so catchy. Pillars of Serpents is also really good. The title track, Ember to Inferno. So yeah, it's a good album, but They were not like where they wanted to be at that time yet because they were still so young. So after that, guys, the next album for me would be In Waves. I know some people will be shocked right now because it's kind of low now in the ranking, and it's almost on par with me with the album that I'll name after. They're really like on the same level, so I'm always kind of switching between the two. But yeah, I'll tell you right away. With the other album is Vengeance Falls, which I agree sounds a bit like some Disturbed stuff because David Draymond, the lead singer of Disturbed, produced it. Especially like on some songs like I Think to Believe, that sounds a lot like Disturbed. But the reason why I prefer Vengeance Falls over In Waves is because I think it's just more consistent, you know? You truly feel like you're living an experience when you are listening to Vengeance Falls. On the album In Waves, like the better songs are better, I would say, than on... Like the best songs are better than the best song on Vengeance Falls, but overall, more consistency on Vengeance Falls. But still, some massive bangers on In Waves, like In Waves, Dusk is Mantled, Black, Built to Fall, Caustic Are the Ties That Bind. That is probably one of my favorite Trivium song ever. And Forsake Not the Dream, of course. But yeah, the album has many songs, and it just feels less consistent for me overall. And in Vengeance Falls, you have like more like decent songs. They're not that great from start to finish, but overall the quality is slightly better, I would say. My favorite songs on that album are probably Strife, No Way to Heal, Incineration, The Broken World, definitely my favorite one on that album. And maybe Wake, The End Is Night, really great ending to that album. I really love this one. So after that, guys, in the top 4 now, I'm going with one of the most recent Trivium album, and I'm talking about The Sin and the Sentence. They really stepped their game up after like a few albums that were not that... Well, they were great, but not as good as what they can do. Trivium came back on top with The Sin and the Sentence. Really good album from start to finish. The heaviness was back on that album. And it was the first album with the new drummer, Alex Band, who is also featured on the newest album by the band, which is called What the Dead Men Say. And yeah, notice that I still haven't talked about that album yet, so it will be pretty high in my ranking. So my favorite song on The Sin and the Sentence are probably Beyond Oblivion, Betrayer, The Wretchedness Inside, Sever the Hand, and Thrown into the Fire. Really strong album, but like you'll see, they did even better in 2020. So now in the top 3, I went with Ascendency. But yeah, it will probably switch a lot between the first 3 because from time to time I say that Ascendency is my favorite. Such a banger. The album that truly got me into Trivium. No, it was not in 2005 or 6 when it was released. It was more like recently. I think I listened to that album a lot in, I would say 2014 when I discovered it and really started blasting it like all the time. So it's been 6 years already. But I know it's a shame that I did not listen to it a lot before that. But yeah, really great album with songs like Rain, Pull Out on the Strings of Your Martyr, Drown and Torn Asunder, Like Light to the Flies, Dying in Your Harm, The Deceive, Declaration. Yeah, I think on that album, Declaration is probably my favorite song. It's really good, really heavy, such a fucking banger. And Ascendency is an album I will never get tired of, that's for sure. And now in the second position, guys, I'm going with What the Dead Men Say, the brand new album by Trivium. They really did something incredible on that one. Maybe there's less like really standout song than on The Sin and the Sentence, but overall the quality is so much better. Like there's not a single song on it that I don't like. Even like the two more mainstream songs, I'm talking about Bleed Into Me and Scattering the Ashes, are really fucking strong. At least I would say 8 out of 10 to both of them. And yeah, I love Scattering the Ashes even more than Bleed Into Me. But yeah, it's really strong. The intro is awesome. You have so many bangers. I could listen to this album for the rest of my life every day. I think it's really that great. Favorite songs are probably Amongst the Shadows and the Stones, Sickness Unto You, and Bending the Arc to Fear, or The Defiant, or The Ones We Leave Behind. Like I said, I could name all of them. Even the first two singles are fucking perfect. So yeah, just listen to that fucking album if you have not already. And in the first spot, Shogun is still there on top for me because it's truly a masterpiece. So many great songs on that one. Another album that I would not skip a single song. I think there's maybe only Insurrection that I like a bit less than the rest, but overall, this album is probably a 10 out of 10. Even the bonus tracks, Poison, The Knife, or The Noose, and Upon the Shores are incredible. If you have never listened to these songs, guys, go ahead and do that. Upon the Shores will remind you of Opeth a lot, with Matt like really growling like Michael from Opeth. You will freak out. And the reason why, like the main reason why Shogun is still on top, above What the Dead Men Say, is mainly because of the title track, Shogun. 11 minutes and 55 seconds of pure like genius music. Maybe if What the Dead Men Say was still the same, but with an epic 10-minute plus songs at the end of it, I would put it on top. But we will never know because it did not happen. Maybe on the next album they will try that again though. But yeah, Shogun, the best song Trivium ever did. Ending that perfect album, like just perfectly. So yeah, you have it, guys. That's my ranking of all the Trivium albums. And I don't know if it's because I have not done a video in a while, but I feel like my English was suffering a bit in this video. Hopefully everything was still fine and you guys were able to understand everything I was trying to explain and say in this video. I did my best. I will improve, that's for sure. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Take care, especially during that coronavirus time. It will soon end, believe in that. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video.